Welcome to the Coaching Kids Soccer podcast. I'm Chris King. All right, if you're a grassroots soccer coach, a parent, a volunteer, okay, if you want to learn how to coach kids soccer ages 5 to 10, you've come to the right place. Now get some intro music into you. Yes. Hello. Sit up straight. Come on, Chris. Come on, come on. Marching on together. All right. Welcome to my podcast. Chris King, soccer coach here, and this is the podcast if you want to get some tips and advice on how to coach kids soccer. If you're a grassroots soccer coach, a volunteer, a parent, even if you're just an older brother or sister that's helping out, this is the podcast or the YouTube channel that you'll get some, hopefully, or you'll get some good tips and advice on how to run a good training session, how to coach kids, how to what to do on game day, lots of different stuff. And I've got a new book out, The Beginner's Guide to Coaching Kids Soccer, a complete guide, a complete resource for parents and volunteers. So that's available on Amazon ebook and also in paper book. So yeah, okay, thanks for tuning in. And this is the second episode of a series that I'm doing when I'm pulling out a chapter from that book, The Beginner's Guide to Coaching Kids Soccer, and talking about it to give you an idea of what you get from the books. And yeah, lots of advice and lots of tips in there. So yeah, okay. So the main vibe on this episode is, are you ready to step onto the field? Okay, get the essentials that you need to plan your first practice. And okay, how to keep things organized, how to make a great impression. All right. So if you haven't taken a training session before, this gives you an overview of what to expect and what you need to do. All right. So yeah, it can feel overwhelming before. I remember when I first took my first training session, I planned and got all over YouTube and yeah, just until you actually do it, it's the only way to get better at it. So I would suggest once I to go out in your backyard and have a dummy run through. That's a good idea that I would seriously advise most coaches as well. Set up cones. You might not be used to setting up cones, goals, changing the drill to the next drill. So just have a run through. It's like anything. If you're doing a speech, first time it's going to be rubbish, but after you've done it a couple of times, you get better at it. All right. So yeah, to physically setting up training session, that's I'd do it in the backyard first, all right, and then you can do it at training and you'll get better at better. Um, okay, so what you need to know, sorry about the pause there, the pregnant pause. Um, what you need to know as a coach is that the main attitude is that you want the kids to have fun and enjoy themselves, okay? So that's rule number one. Now, if we're talking about teaching kids skills, the main four skills are dribble, pass, shoot, and controlling the ball. And there's also, I would put in there as a fifth one, 1v1, so practice taking players on. But they're probably your 4 or 5 fundamental skills that you want to be teaching kids at a young age. All right, ages 5 to 10 is what I focus on. So once again, dribbling, passing, shooting, ball control, and 1v1. Okay, so if you can focus on one of those per session, that's what I like to do. Okay, so if you want to focus on passing, lay out your training session to focus on passing. So I would normally have a skill practice at the start of training. So literally just get the kids in twos, passing the ball back and forth after they've had a little warm up. All right, do that for 5 or 10 minutes, and then jump into the first game, which practices that skill. So, for example, you might do gates, which is gates are simply setting up two cones, pairs of cones all spread around an area, then get the kids into twos. and they can practice passing between the gates. So one player has to pass through the gate to another player, then they move on to another gate. That player passes it back to their teammate. Okay, and you do that for a minute. How many gates can the players pass through? All right, so that's developing that skill. Okay, so the focus of the training session is passing. So that's developing that skill. So you do that for 10 and 15 minutes. Players have a rest, have a drink, then you go into a game for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so we've practiced a skill, we've done a fun game, gates, learning that skill, and now we're going into a game where they can, you encourage that skill. So if a player does a good pass, say well done, give them a high five, things like that, and then you jump into another fun game. All right, so yeah, so then the second fun game still focuses on passing as well. All right. So you might do it where you've got it might be marbles or golf, like football marbles, football golf. So what you can do is get the players in twos again. So if you want to do marbles, so one player passes the football, then the other player passes and tries to hit that football. Or if they miss, then the player gets to pass again, and you just keep score of how many who gets to hit the player's ball. And that just works on weight of pass and accuracy and things like that. So that's another fun game that you can do. And then you do that for 10, 15 minutes, and then you go into a game again. So I like to finish with a game. So that's my, I'm probably going off on a bit of a tangent here, but that's how I structure my training session. So it might be, it's either, I have two options at the start. Okay, so if you've got more developed, more skilled players, I go straight into a game for the first 10 or 15 minutes of a training session. It gets the energy out. Players come to football training to play a game. So play for 10 or 15 minutes. Boom. They're happy. Kids are happy. Excuse me. The other option is if you take a brand new team that need to work on their skills, wipe that 10 or 15-minute game out at the start and practice on a skill. Okay, so if they need to practice on their passing, literally have them dribbling around or getting in pairs and passing. So just get 10 minutes of really focused time on that skill. All right, so that's the first bit of a training session. So either practice a skill or it gets into a game. Second bit is a fun game that works on that skill. So like I said, gates, that works on passing. So you do that for 10 or 15 minutes. This is working on an hour session. So third part is you go into a game that focuses on that skill of the session. So let the players play, 5v5, whatever the case is, and just encourage them to pass more. You might bring a reward in. So if the players do 3 or 4 passes, that adds up to an extra point. Okay. So yes, encourage it by saying well done and high fives, but also you can bring in a little reward as well. So if they're doing that action that you want them to do, maybe a goal is worth double. If they do 5 passes before scoring, they'll get 2 goals. Or another way to do it is however many passes they make and score a goal, then they get that amount of goals. So if they do 6 passes, they get 6 goals. All right. And then the last bit of the game is finish with a game. Always finish with a game if you can, from under 5s to over 55s. Players want to play. All right, so if you can finish with a game, players will be happy. They'll want to come back again. They can laugh, enjoy themselves, and they can use that skill that you've been teaching them during that session. But I know as a football player myself, I just want to play. So that's their reward. All right, take them to the park, let them off the leash. Let them play. All right, that's what they came for. So yeah, always finish with a game if you can. I've gone off on a massive tangent here. I can barely remember what the episode was about, but hopefully you're getting some good information. Okay. Now, preparation. That is a key part to being a coach. If you're not an organized person or you don't think you are, become one. All right. Anyone can change. You just talk. Use different terminology. I am an organized person, even if it's just when it's coming to football. All right. So you've got to plan your training session. Like I just explained then, write that down on a piece of paper. Even if it's just the night before, like if you're really organized, plan a month in advance and you've got all your training sessions laid out. But if you're not, just plan it the night before, have it on a piece of paper, review it before you get to the training session, then it's fresh in your mind. Okay, so yeah, prepare, fail to prepare, and all that kind of stuff. All right. But yeah, all you have to do is, like I said, pick a skill that you want to focus on, and then you can just break it down into those sections that I mentioned. Um, and yeah, get there early as well. If you can get there, I know sometimes it's a shared ground, so you might be able to set your drills up. But if you can have everything ready to go, then as soon as that team in front of you is finished, set up your drills so that when all the players arrive, they can see that you're ready to go, and that will help them be focused as well. And also, you don't want the players to get there and then you're talking or you haven't set anything up. They're wasting time when they could be getting minutes, repetition, skills into them. Okay, especially at this age, you want as much time on the ball as you can. So even if you just have two goals set up on the side there, leave a few balls. If the players come, they can set up and have a little game by themselves. If for some reason that you've turned up late or you couldn't get on the field until right bang on 6 o'clock. Okay, so you want to get the players having as many touches as you can. Another thing to be aware of if it's at a training session is you want a safe and inclusive environment. Physically safe, so you don't want to have it right next to a road where a ball's going to go onto the road and the kids chase it. Okay, but have a quick look around, make sure there's no rocks, there's no glass, anything like that. I know a football pitch that I used to play on, I used to coach on, there was always rabbits there so there'd be and they dig little holes, so there'd just be these little ankle turner holes, so go around, fill in those. Okay. Anything like that, if there's, yeah, like I said, rocks and things like that, so just have a quick look around. And inclusivity as well, always welcome the kids as soon as they get there, give them a smile, give them a high five. Okay. Make it a safe place and a happy place for them to be. All right. Make them feel comfortable and respected. And yeah, they'll give it back to you as well. So, yeah, that's a safe and inclusive environment. Just I'm only touching on these. The book goes into a lot, in a lot more detail. Another section is managing expectations as well, both of the players and as you as a coach. Okay, so don't think that everything's going to click and the players are going to learn the skills straight away. And kids learn at different rates, different stages, and things like that, develop differently. So they learn by doing. So explain something verbally if you want, but also physically show them. So if you want to show them how to pass, what part of the foot to pass with, tap the inside of your foot. All right, it sticks in their head. So yeah, always show them. Get two kids to get up and give an example before you go into a drill as well. Then you'll see if they've understood it. And yeah, you can say that, yeah, that's correct. Or if you need to adjust anything, just adjust it then. All right. So, and realize that kids, especially young ones, if you're coaching 5-year-olds or even younger toddlers, remember that they struggle with focus and coordination. They're still developing these things. Adults bloody struggle with focus and coordination. Okay. So give the kids a break. Don't get mad. Have a smile. Have a laugh, but just realize, and if you've got that in your head that you understand that the kids are going to struggle to concentrate, you'll adapt and come up with things as you go. There's lots of tips in the book as well. Celebrate the small little wins. So if someone concentrates for 10 minutes and doesn't run off, if you've got a rat bag and they're normally interrupting and doing things, if you've noticed that they really were focused in one session, just have a quiet word with them. Say, well done there. You've focused really well. That's great. Let's get more of that. So yeah, just let them enjoy the process. It's not about being perfect or anything like that. En- Encourage mistakes. Is that the right way? Like, don't, say well done for trying something. Okay. Yeah. Right. So let's leave it at that. I think I've gone on for enough. So to summarize, the things that you need before you first practice are: be prepared. Like I said, if you can write that down on a piece of paper or an app in your phone, plan your training session. You know where you are. You'll run a lot better training sessions, and you'll be a lot happier and a lot more confident as well. Create a safe and inclusive environment. All right, check out the area. Make sure that the kids are welcomed. And yeah, give them a smile, give them a high five, use their name as well. Another point, manage your expectations. Okay, so don't expect teams to gel straight away. This is it might be over the whole season. As long as you can see incremental advances, it's a positive. All right, if your team can string three passes together after a month, whereas at the start they were just all running around like a swarm. Well, that's a win. Okay, so yeah, thanks for listening. Stay tuned, and if you haven't already, grab a copy of my book, The Beginner's Guide to Coaching Kids Soccer, and it's got lots of tips and advice in there as well. So until next time, I'm Chris King. Wish you the best of luck. Okay, so yeah, happy coaching, all that stuff. Let's make soccer fun, guys. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've got any news to report. Leeds are marching on. They're looking good, but never say never. Yeah, so yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, see you guys. Bye. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you got some good information. And if you would like some more, I've got plenty of books on Amazon. Just head there and type in Chris King Soccer, and all my books will pop up. I've got lots of books on coaching kids. Coaching Kids Soccer, Volume 1, 2, 3 is very popular, and Training Sessions for Soccer Coaches, Volumes 1, 2 is 3 is aimed at adult coaches. And if you're more of a visual learner, I've got lots of courses on udemy.com. That's udemy.com. I've got coaching courses for soccer coaches that are just starting out coaching a kids team, and for those that want to learn how to take training sessions for coaching adults as well. So yeah, head over to udemy.com, or if you want to head to my website, and you can get a direct link from there, chriskingsoccercoach.com. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll catch you on the next podcast. Bye for now.